All right. Welcome to our deep dive into, Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
Using Walter Isaacson's biography as our guide,
Okay.
we're going beyond the headlines, tweets, all
Right.
that to kind of get to what really drives this guy. I
Yeah.
mean, you've all heard the stories,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
successes, controversies, the whole thing.
Of course.
But did you ever stop and wonder, like, what really makes him tick?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on under the surface?
What makes him do the things he does?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This deep dive might just give us a little glimpse into that.
A little peek behind the curtain.
You know what's interesting is that before SpaceX even existed, Musk almost died from cerebral malaria.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, back in 2000.
Really?
It's
Huh.
it's just wild.
It is a crazy story.
And that's just one chapter in this whole crazy life story.
It seems like his life is just one near-death experience after another.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what's fascinating about him is that he's just a walking paradox.
In what way?
I mean, he's brilliant, obviously,
Yeah.
an incredible innovator, so driven,
Uh-huh.
but at the same time, he's impulsive, makes decisions that some people question,
Right.
and then there's all the controversy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like he can't help himself.
Like thrives on it?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's hard to say.
So to understand Elon Musk,
Right.
the visionary, the disruptor, the whole package,
Yeah.
you really got to go back to the beginning.
His childhood.
Yeah, Isaacson takes us back to his childhood in South Africa.
Right.
And it wasn't all, sunshine and roses.
Not even close.
His relationship with his father, Errol, was
Oh, man.
really strained.
Yeah, Isaacson really paints Errol as this domineering figure,
Controlling.
emotionally distant too.
Yeah.
There are parts in the book where Elon talks about,
Yeah.
feeling belittled by his dad,
Yeah.
criticized all the time.
Yeah.
That stuff leaves a mark, you
Oh,
know?
absolutely.
Especially when you're a kid.
Right.
It shapes you.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this one story that Isaacson shares
Okay.
where Elon's just a boy,
Hmm.
and he actually chooses to live with his father.
What, even though things were so bad?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though their relationship was difficult.
That's crazy.
His mom just couldn't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, who would choose that
Right.
if you had a happier option?
It's like he was drawn to that intensity,
Right.
to that challenge.
Almost like he needed it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But that choice says something about him, though,
definitely.
about that drive he has.
That relentless ambition.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And at the same time, all this is going on.
Yeah.
He's getting bullied at school,
Oh, God.
like relentlessly.
Awful.
So bad that he ends up in the hospital.
Seriously, that's
that-
terrible.
All these experiences probably contributed to...
His resilience.
Yeah.
His pain tolerance,
Mm.
which are crazy high, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those are traits that you can see in how he leads and how he's willing to take risks.
It's almost like
Mm.
all that hardship built up this armor around him.
Interesting.
Like a shield against anything life could throw at him.
Yeah, and let him push through things that would...
Break most people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it also seems like it fueled this need,
To prove himself.
yeah, to constantly prove himself.
Right.
And this fear of complacency.
Which still drives him today.
Oh, totally.
It's like he can't relax.
He's always got to be moving.
On to the next big thing.
It's almost like he's running from something.
I wonder if that aversion to contentment,
Yeah.
if that's connected to his success with SpaceX and Tesla.
You think so?
It makes sense, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's known for pushing his teams.
To the absolute limit.
Yeah. Creating these high-pressure environments.
Where failure is not an option.
Right.
Some might call it toxic.
Yeah.
Others might say it's the price of innovation.
The price of progress.
Maybe.
So then we get to the question of...
Early influences,
Yeah.
because childhood shapes us.
Totally.
And in his case, it's kind of striking how
Uh-huh.
certain books and experiences seem to foreshadow.
His later obsessions.
Yeah.
Like what, for example?
Well, like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
It was more than just a funny book for him.
Hmm.
Isaacson suggests that it sparked this fascination.
With space travel,
Yes, with the universe, with the vastness of it all.
which became central to SpaceX later on.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like the seeds were planted early on.
And then there's the Foundation series by Asimov.
Oh, yeah, I love those books.
It's all about colonizing other planets.
Yes, about humanity's potential to do that.
Right.
And Musk has said that this series
Oh, really?
directly inspired his belief that we need to,
Become a multi-planetary species.
yeah, to survive long term.
Wow.
It's pretty profound.
It is.
Even his love for D&D.
What?
You know Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, yeah.
It shows us something about his personality.
Really? How
He's a dungeon master.
And he was surprisingly patient.
That doesn't sound like Elon Musk.
Yeah, and strategic.
Interesting.
Like he was good at guiding his friends through these...
Complex narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is basically what he does now with his companies.
It's all about leadership.
Yeah. And thinking ahead.
Multiple steps ahead.
Right.
Those qualities would serve him well.
In the business world.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
It's fascinating how all these different interests, like the sci-fi, the game,
the tech, it all came together.
Shape his worldview.
Yeah.
And plant those seeds of ambition.
And those ambitions wouldn't stay theoretical for long.
Oh, no.
Because at 12...
What, 12?
He sold his first computer game.
Seriously, at 12?
Called Blastar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most kids are playing video games at that age.
I know.
Not making and selling them.
He was different.
Clearly.
That early programming wasn't just a hobby.
Right.
It was a sign...
Of what?
Of his talent for coding.
Yeah.
And his entrepreneurial spirit.
I mean, he was a natural...
He saw a problem.
Okay.
Lack of good computer games.
Right.
And he made a solution.
Just like that.
It was a small success, but it foreshadowed...
everything that came later.
Yeah, where he constantly identified problems.
And developed solutions.
On a massive scale.
Exactly. Right. And that drive.
That entrepreneurial drive.
Really takes center stage when we get to the dot-com boom.
Oh, yeah, the Wild West of the internet.
Musk dives headfirst into startups.
Right.
First with Zip2.
Uh-huh.
And then with PayPal.
Yeah.
These weren't just about making money.
No, they were about...
disrupting industries.
Changing the world.
Pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
Right.
Exactly.
With Zip2, he had this...
What was it?
This simple but brilliant idea.
Go on.
Merging maps with business directories.
Oh, wow.
And you can see how that paved the way for...
For what?
For things like Google Maps.
Yeah, totally.
We take it for granted now, but he was ahead of his time.
Visionary. Seeing a future where digital information would be integrated into our physical world.
Seamlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was willing to put in the work.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the stories.
The coding marathons.
All-nighters.
Sleeping under his desk.
Intense.
Demanding the same dedication from his team.
Which I'm sure led to some clashes.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't exactly known for being...
Mr. Nice Guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Isaacson describes his leadership style as...
How does he put it?
Direct.
Yeah.
And often abrasive.
Yeah.
He was relentless in his pursuit of excellence.
No compromise.
And he expected everyone around him to keep up.
Right.
Which created this high-pressure environment.
Yeah.
Some found it inspiring.
I bet.
Others found it overwhelming.
Yeah, probably.
It's a classic tale. You know,
What?
The brilliant but difficult genius.
Right.
Pushing everyone to the limit.
Including himself.
Exactly.
And in the case of Zip2...
It worked.
It paid off big time.
They sold the company for millions, which set the stage for his next venture.
Which was...
That would become PayPal.
The online payment giant.
That we all use now.
Crazy, right?
It is.
And with PayPal, we see a similar pattern.
Okay.
That relentless drive, obsession with pushing technology, coupled with that demanding leadership style, it led to massive success.
Obvious.
But also friction, which ultimately led to his...
ousting.
Yeah, as CEO.
Wow.
But even while he was building these companies, there was this underlying theme of risk.
Risks?
Not just in the business world either.
What do you mean?
In his personal life, too.
Oh, you're talking about?
The cerebral malaria.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
I know.
He was hours from death, became Elon Musk.
It's wild.
But even after that brush with death, his hunger for audacious ventures
only intensified.
It's almost like it fueled him.
Yeah.
And then we get to SpaceX.
A company born out of...
a seemingly impossible dream. What dream was that?
Making humanity a multiplanetary species.
Wow.
A vision that many dismissed as...
science fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all started with this trip to Russia.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about this.
He was going to buy decommissioned ICBMs.
ICBM?
Imagine this young entrepreneur, grand ambitions, sitting across from this Russian official, missing a front tooth, who just kept spitting every time he talked.
Oh, my God.
It's straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
Isaacson describes it so vividly in the book.
Yeah, it happened.
The Russian official was so skeptical,
Yeah.
even hostile, yelling at Musk.
What'd he say?
He said, this rocket was never meant for capitalists to use it for going to Mars on a bullshit mission.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That had to be a turning point for him.
Oh, totally.
Realizing he couldn't rely on others to achieve his vision. He had to do it himself.
Build the rockets himself.
Oh.
And that's how SpaceX was born.
Out of necessity.
Yeah, out of sheer will.
And that's what we'll pick up next time.
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
The birth of SpaceX.
The beginning of a new era.
Stay tuned.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive into Elon Musk.
Picking up where we left off.
SpaceX.
SpaceX's journey is just incredible.
It really is.
Like, talk about defying expectations. Right. I mean, remember, he's entering this field.
Space exploration.
Yeah, dominated by, like, governments and these giant aerospace companies.
Exactly.
And he comes in with this completely different approach.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? I think rockets can be built way more efficiently, way cheaper.
And he was willing to take those risks.
Risks that no one else would even think about.
It's wild.
The early days of SpaceX, though, they were rough.
Struggling constantly.
Technical challenges, funding issues. I mean,
explosions on the launch pad.
Oh, yeah, multiple times.
It's crazy how close they came to bankruptcy.
Several times.
It's like he was living on the edge.
But he never gave up.
No.
Poured his own money into the company.
Because he believed.
He believed in his vision.
That he was on the verge of something huge.
Revolutionary.
And it wasn't just about building rockets either.
Right. He was obsessed with reusability.
Which everyone thought was impossible.
Pretty much.
At the time, rockets were basically use them once and toss them.
Which made space travel crazy expensive.
So Musk's idea was,
what if we could recover the first stage
of the rocket?
Yeah, and reuse it.
To bring the cost down.
Exactly. Make space more accessible.
It took years.
Of trial and error.
But they did it.
2015.
Landed that first stage of a Falcon 9.
Back on Earth.
Unbelievable.
Changed everything.
Showed the world that reusable rockets were
the future.
Not just some sci-fi dream.
And that's what makes SpaceX so disruptive.
They've got contracts with NASA now.
Launching satellites.
Sending astronauts to the ISS.
The International Space Station.
They're doing it all.
But Musk's ambitions.
They don't stop there.
Oh, no, not even close.
His ultimate goal is making humanity
multiplanetary.
Starting with Mars.
He sees a future where we're living on Mars.
Colonizing it.
Ensuring our survival as a species.
It's the Starship program.
His grand plan for interplanetary travel.
This massive reusable spacecraft.
That'll take us to Mars one day.
And beyond.
Below.
Pushing the limits of engineering.
And human ingenuity.
It's a bold vision.
But as we've seen,
with SpaceX,
Musk isn't afraid to dream big.
Or to take the risks to make those dreams happen.
So while SpaceX was reaching for the stars,
he was also working on another revolution.
This time in the car industry.
Tesla.
Yeah. He saw this opportunity
to disrupt the status quo.
Create a car company that was about more than just transportation.
It was about
sustainability.
The future of energy.
He was convinced that
electric vehicles were the key
to a sustainable future.
And just like with SpaceX,
he went up against the giants.
The established players.
Companies with decades of experience.
And tons of resources.
But he wasn't intimidated. He believed he could build a better car.
A car that was electric?
High performance.
Stylish.
Technologically advanced.
The whole package.
And he did it with that same drive.
That relentless drive.
That unconventional approach.
Vertical integration.
Controlling the whole process.
From battery production to software.
Gave them control over quality.
Innovation. But it also came with challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Building these massive factories.
With developing new tech.
Scaling production like crazy.
That led to the infamous...
And the Model 3.
Intense pressure, long hours.
Trying to meet that demand.
For their first mass-market electric car.
Isaacson describes the factory floor as
chaotic,
but energized.
Musk sleeping on the floor.
Pushing everyone to their limits.
To overcome these seemingly impossible obstacles.
And while the Model 3 launch had its issues.
Delays, setbacks.
They pulled it off.
Proving that electric cars could be mainstream.
Desirable.
Profitable.
Tesla's success changed the game.
Force the traditional car makers to take notice.
Invest in their own electric car programs.
Tesla accelerated the transition.
To electric transportation.
No doubt.
But amidst all these amazing achievements.
There was this growing unease.
About Musk's behavior.
The controversies.
The tweets. The public spats.
It was like the same traits that made him brilliant.
were also contributing to his
downfall.
Maybe.
It was like a boiling point.
With all the pressure,
the scrutiny,
the personal turmoil.
His relationship with Amber Heard was ending.
In a very public way.
Messy divorce.
Accusations.
Legal battles.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
And his relationship with his father was falling apart, too.
Errol had fathered a child.
With his stepdaughter.
Yeah, much younger stepdaughter.
It was a betrayal.
That really hurt Musk.
Imagine dealing with all that.
While running multiple companies.
It's no wonder Isaacson calls this period
one of the most hellacious of Musk's life.
And right in the middle of all this,
his fascination with Twitter intensifies. This platform that he both loved and hated.
He was always an avid user.
Connecting with fans.
Promoting his company.
Sharing his unfiltered thoughts.
On everything.
But his relationship with Twitter
became more and more strained.
He started to see bias
against certain viewpoints.
He felt like they were stifling free speech.
Manipulating public discourse.
So he started criticizing them.
Publicly.
Calling them out.
And that criticism
that turned into
a takeover bid.
A move that shocked everyone.
The whole tech industry was buzzing.
It wasn't just a business deal.
It was a statement.
A declaration of war against
censorship.
Woke ideology.
That he thought was corrupting Twitter.
And this impulsive decision,
driven by idealism
and ego,
would lead to one of the most chaotic chapters in his life.
The Twitter saga.
A story for the ages.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk. Last time we left off with him.
About to buy Twitter.
Yeah, that move was fueled by so many things.
Idealism, ego, a sense that something had to be done.
Like he really thought Twitter was broken. Yeah, that it wasn't living up to its potential.
To be this platform for free speech.
Now we're going to see what happened after that decision.
What happens when Elon Musk takes over Twitter?
It's almost like this recurring pattern with him.
What do you mean?
This willingness to take on these impossible challenges.
Yeah.
But with this mix of brilliance and recklessness.
You could say that.
The Twitter takeover was like a whirlwind.
It was.
Isaacson talks about him sleeping at headquarters.
Working around the clock?
Firing people.
Yeah, like immediately.
Diving into the code himself.
It was wild.
I mean, like a tech version of The Apprentice.
But with way higher stakes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's this one weekend where Musk basically camped out at Twitter HQ.
Seriously.
With a handful of his engineers.
Wow.
Trying to revamp the whole platform.
What was he thinking?
It seems like a mix of his impulsiveness and this belief
himself
that he could solve any problem.
No matter how hard.
And to him, Twitter was this
broken system.
Yeah, that had strayed from its mission.
Of free speech.
Right. And he was sure he could fix it.
Fix Twitter.
That's what he said.
It turned out to be more complicated than just
rewriting code.
Oh, yeah.
He was in charge now.
Of this global platform.
With millions of users.
Facing the same challenges.
As everyone else.
Content moderation.
Misinformation.
Hate speech.
The whole thing.
And his approach was
unconventional, to say the least.
He made huge changes.
Out of the blue.
With no warning, no
explanation among users, advertisers, everyone.
He reinstated accounts that had been banned.
Like who?
Donald Trump, Kanye West.
Wow.
Arguing that it was necessary
to restore free speech.
That decision was
controversial.
Understatement.
Some people loved it.
Praising him for defending free expression.
Right.
Others criticized.
For giving a platform to dangerous voices.
It's important to point out, though,
what?
Musk's views on free speech are, to say the least.
He says he believes in it.
But he's also blocked critics on Twitter.
Really?
Making legal action against journalists.
Who wrote negative things about him.
Or his companies.
So it seems like
what?
His definition of free speech might be a little selective.
Maybe it only applies to people.
Who agree with him.
That's a pattern we see throughout his life.
Yeah. In what way?
He's quick to dismiss anyone who disagrees with him.
As enemies.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Any criticism as a personal attack.
He doesn't take it well.
His management style is also
demanding,
to say the least.
Often demeaning.
He sets these impossible deadlines.
Berates employees.
Who don't meet his expectations.
Creates this culture of
fear.
Pressure. Constant pressure.
Isaacson has stories of him firing people.
For the smallest things.
Disagreeing with him.
Questioning his decisions.
It's like he needs that chaos.
Surrounding himself with these loyalists.
Who work crazy hours.
And put up with his behavior.
But even they have limits. There's been so many people leaving his companies.
High-profile departure.
Executives, engineers, all of them.
Saying they can't handle it anymore.
The erratic behavior.
Yeah.
The demands.
It takes a toll.
And public is seeing that now, too.
Yeah, controversies, the lawsuits.
The product launches that fail.
It's all chipping away at his image.
As this genius visionary.
Even his biggest fans are wondering
if it's all worth it.
If his ambition is doing more harm than good.
So where does that leave us?
With a lot of questions.
We've seen the highs and lows.
The incredible
The
achievements.
self-inflicted wounds.
His brilliance. His drive.
His ability to inspire.
But also his recklessness, his ego.
His tendency to push people away.
It's a complicated picture.
Is Elon Musk a force for good?
Or a dangerous disruptor?
A visionary leader? Or
a reckless egomaniac?
I don't know.
I don't think anyone does.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe there's no easy answer.
Elon Musk's story isn't over, though.
No, he's still going.
Still pushing boundaries, challenging conventions.
Reshaping industries.
Whether you love him or hate him.
You can't ignore him.
He's one of the most fascinating figures of our time.
For sure.
What stands out to you about his story?
What are you left thinking about?
What's most intriguing or unsettling?
We encourage you to check out the full biography.
To dive deeper into this complex and fascinating individual.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.